Hello, everybody, and welcome to the short series of Coffee Talks. This is session number 2, and my name is Richard Apps, and I am the SASE specialist here for Central Government Defence and Intelligence. So I hope you've got your coffee ready, and today I'm going to talk about the future of edge networking and security and how that plays into the wider Prisma SaaS play. So today I'm going to take a different approach. I'm going to break down Zero Trust, SASE, SSE, and ZTNA. There's way too much confusion in the market at the moment around some of these terminologies. So what I want to do is take each part and what it means. This will build a picture for how and why Palo Alto has one of the most powerful solutions in the market. I will help you understand the differences and why Palo Alto is different and why this matters for the future of Zero Trust. I will layer on some of the detail around SD-WAN and why we see this as our edge solution device, which we call Prisma Edge. So first, we need to know what the current issues are with our customers before we move into looking at the future. So lots of you come from an MSSP background, so you'll understand that legacy network architectures no longer work in today's cloud-enabled world. If we look at the traditional hub and spoke architectures with disparate network and security stacks, they don't scale for hybrid work and cloud. So as an example, let's look at one of the drawbacks, slowdowns. So imagine peak demand at your edge locations and then multiply that by a factor of 5 or 10 or possibly even more. This is what the future has in store, and your traditional setup won't be able to handle all of this data. With so much information flooding back to the core, and your data center will become inundated trying to process it all, this means that slowdowns or even catastrophic failures will impact user experience and your staff's ability to keep operations running. Security breaches, this is a key one. The threat landscape is constantly evolving. With more edge connections comes a greater attack surface. And if you continue using traditional point solutions, you'll have to constantly be mindful of your network security. Vulnerabilities will present themselves with your physical devices, virtual assets, and integrations, each of which may allow an exploitation or across your network. This will force you to spend huge amounts of money and time to protect your business and customers. For customers that are successful and have found that they are working throughout their security stack, they can protect against modern threat vectors. It's just as important as having a high-performance network, and the convergence of both network and security leads to fundamentally different outcomes. So here at PAN, we've done just that, and I'll come on to that a bit later and get into how we do it over here. So to address this legacy problem, Palo Alto Networks came to market with Prisma SaaS. So let's look at some of the differentiators. So convergence without compromise. Well, Prisma SaaS offers best-of-breed security. Palo Alto is 11 years running leader in this category, and we built it for the cloud. With best-of-breed SD-WAN and cloud-delivered platform, it consolidates multi-point products into ZTNA, Cloud, SWG, CASB, Firewall as a Service, and SD-WAN, and that's very important. And this is into a single integrated service, reducing network and security complexity while increasing organizational agility. So best-in-class security. Prisma SaaS constantly secures all apps used by your hybrid workforce, regardless of whether users are remote, mobile, or working from a branch office. Our proven cloud-delivered security services leverage machine learning and threat prevention to instantly stop 95% of web-based threats inline, significantly reducing data breaches. And then the third is exceptional user experience. Prisma SaaS includes the industry's only SaaS native autonomous digital experience management, or as we like to call ADEM, and that helps ensure an exceptional user experience for end users with end-to-end visibility and insights across mobile, branch, and users guaranteed by SLAs, that are 10 times better than the closest competitors. So we have the basics covered. What I want to do is lift the lid on the future, but I want to explain each of the components to you on the screen. This is so you have an understanding of how all of these tie back to our solution and why they matter now and for the future. If we look at zero trust is a strategic approach to cybersecurity, eliminating implicit trust and continuously validating at every stage of the digital interaction. Rooted in the principle of never trust, always verify, zero trust is designed to protect the model environments and enable digital transformation by using strong authentication methods, leveraging network segmentation, preventing lateral movement, and providing layer 7 threat prevention, and simplifying granular least privilege access policies. So, zero trust was created based on the realization that traditional security models operate on outdated assumption that everything inside the organization's network should be implicitly trusted. This implicit trust means that once the network users, including threat actors and malicious insiders, which are free to move laterally across or exfiltrate sensitive data due to lack of granular security controls, causes an issue. So let's try and tie this back to ZTNA 2.0. So you'll probably hear the term ZTNA 2.0. This was coined from Palo Alto Networks. If we double click on zero trust is purely focused on providing access management and access control to authenticated users. The nature of SASE, on the other hand, is much broader in that it bundles a whole host of network and security services, zero trust network access being one of them, into a single solution. Another core difference is continuous security inspection and continuous trust verification, protecting all data and all applications, which should be the foundation of any SASE solution. In other words, by combining SASE and zero trust principles, companies can achieve ZTNA with a single solution to consistently apply and enforce security policies across their entire network. So what are the benefits of this approach? Well, stronger network security, streamlined network management, significantly reduced costs associated with deploying security at scale, of course, removing MPLS as well, a single holistic view of the entire network, visibility, and a unified product platform underpinned by the best SLAs on the planet due to our GCP backbone. So let's look at the next one, SASE. If we look at that, Gartner predicts that by 2025, 80% of enterprises will have adopted a strategy to unify web, cloud services, and private application access using SASE or SSE architecture. So what is SASE? Well, Gartner coined the term back in 2019, and it's convergence of network and security, providing it as a firewall as a service model, built for the cloud, in the cloud, supported by our Google backbone, and of course AWS as well, where we provide the best SLAs in the industry. And it's all about user experience, right? I think it's simply, you have a user that can work from anywhere. Think of it like this, regardless of the location and the needs to access application wherever they are, whether it's SaaS-based applications, the applications in the cloud or physical DC, accessing from anywhere securely, that's SASE. SASE also integrates firewall as a service into its cloud-based platform, allowing simplified management and deployment. A large part of SASE is SD-WAN, of which we create a SASE fabric with cloud and branch to bring the user closer to the application. I have some slides around SD-WAN later, and we'll go into that. But let's move on to SSE, Security Service Edge. I think this one always trips people up. And let's look at what makes up SSE and secure access to the web. cloud services, and private applications. Capabilities include access control, threat prevention, data security, and security monitoring. A new acronym in technology is enough to get security managers excited. At least the example of SSE has become a buzzword for the security industry. While the industry has taken steps towards Secure Access Service Edge, or SASE, adoption, Secure Service Edge, or SSE, derived from SASE, raises questions like SSE is like SASE, just without SD-WAN. Some might say SSE is SASE. It was first introduced by Gartner last year. SSE left the SASE framework and formed a separate segment by eliminating SD-WAN. When SD-WAN is removed from the game, cloud-based security products like SWG, CASB, and ZTNA remain, such as firewall as a service and data protection. We believe that the branch, you still need to be able to route traffic at layer 7 and provide visibility with our ADEM, or digital experience management capability, creating a self-building, self-healing SASE edge, or we like to call it Prisma Edge. Now we have full control, visibility, traffic steering, and the ability to secure all users anywhere, all data, all applications with one single unified product. Right, as we move on to the final part and tie all this back together, ZTNA is sometimes viewed as modernizing access, but every security team plus every organization converging its IT infrastructure, networking, and security functions are moving into a more flexible cloud-ready architecture. All the organization should care about is enhancing security posture as a whole to help protect against zero-day threats. Let me be clear. ZTNA 1.0, which has been around for about 10 years, itself does not detect or block threats, but it can hide assets from attackers and reduce the overall digital attack surface. If we look in the market today, there's over 4,000 ransom attacks that take place daily around the world. That's a huge number and growing daily. Applying ZTNA 1.0 can deny attackers the initial attack vector, but you will require continuous security inspection and continuous trust verifications to stop evolving and ever smarter adversaries. This is why you need all of the above to create a zero trust strategy and delivered in a single unified product. If we look at ZTNA, which is also incorporated in SASE and SSE, and as we converge further into network and security, what is ZTNA 2.0? I've heard many people asking that question. You may have heard this bounded about. Well, it's an advance on ZTNA 1.0, which has been around for more than 10 years, like I said. So let's look at what the 5 principles of ZTNA 2.0 are. Number 1, least privilege access. We like to call that app ID if we relate it back to our product set. So we're providing the least privilege access to an application. Do you have the rights to contact that application? Can we look at the sub-level of that application? Number 2, continuous trust verification. So we're continually looking at device and user to say, are you who you say you are? Continuous trust inspection, continuous security inspection, which is our content ID, which is unique to Palo Alto. We're constantly looking and inspecting the security. Protects all data and all applications is number 5. If we look at the second principle of ZTNA 2.0, which is continuous trust verification, and we pivot to ZTNA 1.0, this uses an allow and ignore model. And with allow and ignore, people and devices are only verified when they first request application access. Once the request is granted, the person or device is allowed application access, and once they're connected to the application, anything they do after that is ignored. They are inherently trusted as long as they stay connected to the application. So much for zero trust. So ZTNA 2.0 doesn't trust anyone or anything just because they've been granted access. Instead, ZTNA 2.0 uses continuous trust verification and continuous security inspection. So ZTNA continuously checks to make sure that everyone and everything really is who they were when they joined and continue to display good behavior. Right, that's the whole stack. The future of edge networking and security is on your screen, and it's all of the components. These are all required to create a zero trust strategy. And you guessed it, Palo Alto Networks is the most complete product on the market today, bringing all of this together. Okay, are you still with me? Because there's a lot that we've gone through already. I'm going to try and tie this back all together. So how we do things here at Palo Alto Networks, let me be clear, zero trust is not a product, it's a strategy. And at Palo Alto Networks, we introduced ZTNA earlier this year. 2.0. ZTNA 2.0 overcomes the limitations of the current 1.0 approach and provides better security outcomes to support the hybrid workforce and needs of today's digital and cloud-first businesses. I'm going to describe Zero Trust and ZTNA, how they relate to each other, and how Palo Alto Networks uses ZTNA 2.0 within our own organization. As a security company and the first customer of our own products, drinking our own Kool-Aid, we leveraged a zero trust architecture as well as ZTNA 2.0 principles, not only to manage our hybrid workforce, but also to protect our crown jewels, our intellectual property, customer data, and employee data. Zero trust is defined as a methodology to secure an organization by eliminating implicit trust and continuously validating at every stage of the digital interaction. Why is this important? Well, zero trust allows a company to protect itself by protecting users, applications, and infrastructure. So to provide a zero trust strategy, we need all of the above components, and regardless of where you are on that journey, please come talk to our specialist SASE team, which I'm a part of, and my colleagues. And after setting the scene on how these components sit together, we can look at how they play together in the future. I think it's only right to show you the edge solution and how that supports the above. So let me just take some water. Hopefully everyone's still awake and you've got your coffee. So I want to tie this back to Palo Alto Networks. This is how we secure our hybrid workforce. There is a blog that's online, so if you fancy looking it up, I'll get one of our team to send the link out later. So edge networking is critical to the future. To go further into how we use and apply zero trust, let's start at the top. So users, what we call user ID and device ID. This is about verifying every aspect of the user, starting with the user's identity. Is the user who he really claims to be? What are the user's devices, the user's role, and the correct privileges for that role, and the data in the user's transaction? Then we move on to applications, application ID. This is about protecting key apps, data, and administrative interfaces by ensuring only authorized users and legitimate service accounts have access to applications and data. Infrastructure. This is about ensuring that only authorized users, such as admins and super users, can access the infrastructure. So the third component is transaction. This is content ID as we see it. This is unique to Palo Alto Networks. We provide continuous security inspection of every transaction that goes across user applications and infrastructure. So at Palo Alto Networks, we implemented zero trust as a function of data, users, applications, and infrastructure. Our crown jewel, which is our data, is critical and lives on 200+ applications across various data centers in the cloud. We support about 15,000 users, including employees, contractors, administrators, software developers, and others, and can access data from anywhere in the world based on their privilege levels and their job functions, whether it's home, corporate locations, airports, CAFs, or the beach, where most of us like to reside. We need to ensure the highest security. So Palo Alto Networks has been operating in a hybrid mode for the last 3 years, and we use Prisma Access to secure our hybrid workforce. Security in a hybrid environment needs continuous trust verification along with continuous traffic inspection of all apps, all data, to ensure protection from data leaks, exploit attempts and malware, as well as tracking of users' behavior, including user identity and privilege level. Now, I know that's a lot to swallow, but stay with me. So ZTNA 2.0 delivered with Prisma Access gives us exactly this capability. This is why ZTNA 2.0 is better suited for securing the hybrid workforce versus ZTNA 1.0. So I'm running out of time, but I will try and get through this as quickly as possible. Let me walk you through how we use ZTNA in the context of 5 key lifecycle principles. So we tie them back to principle 1, least privilege access. We provide granular identity of applications at the app and sub-app levels in our on-prem and Prisma Access security policies. So that's app ID. Continuous trust verification. Based on the user behavior, device posture, and app behavior of the user, and also the device and application, we will then grant access. Continuous security inspection. We have been doing ongoing inspection of all traffic, even allowed connections, to prevent all zero-day threats. So I don't have time to go through this component, so I will move on from here. I want to make you aware that here at Palo, we also have a learning portal, which is called Beacon. I will get our team to send out a link after. There's some fantastic training that's associated with this, and especially if you want to learn about some of our sales certifications, some training options, and there's some really good components around SASE. These are some of the components that you should be looking into, and ZTNA for sellers as well is also a really good one. I think I'm running out of time, so I'm going to say thank you. Thank you very much for attending this Coffee Talks. My name's been Richard Apps, and I hope you have a wonderful day.